Good afternoon, dear friends. I call you friends, of course, because this Facebook Live. And if you're watching it, if you're watching this, then it is that you are my friend on Facebook or a friend on Facebook has shared it. Now, I'm going to talk this afternoon about the acquisition or purported acquisition of LCC, Lagos Concession Company, by the Lagos State government. I'm going to try to trace the antecedents. I call it a mess. It's corruption at its peak. It's a financial mess, and it's something that all of us should take note of. It is said more times than once that many Lagosians don't pay taxes. I said no. I said the Lagos State government is reckless with our taxes. Lagos State government mismanages our funds. Lagos State government officials enrich themselves corruptly with our funds, and I've proved this afternoon, and I expect that this be shared by the next administration of Lagos State by the grace of God. There will be some projects that we'll go after and we'll investigate, and the people needs to know exactly what went down. Okay, so I'll give a brief about the Lekki Concession Company. For some of us, the first time we heard about Lekki Concession Company was when they were granted the concession of managing the road, the Lekki Epe Expressway. It sounded like a good idea and all of that. Now, the private sector was supposed to come up with funds to assist government in fixing that road, expanding the lanes, providing alternative routes, and then thereby operating it for a while and then transferring it back to Lagos State government. This was supposed to be for an initial period of 25 to 30 years. That was the plan. So everybody applauded it. This was before the administration of Fashola. I believe it was the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What we found eventually was the roads were merely expanded a bit. Oriental Hotel on the left got a fair deal in that the road served Oriental Hotel properly. Till today, you will see that there were a few alternative routes, and Lekki Concession Company did absolutely nothing else but to start tolling that expressway. Now, for those who live or do business around Lekki, and again for every taxpayer of Lagos State, this should be worrisome. This should be burdensome. It is this same Lekki that we talk about that experiences torrential rainfall and then you have flooding all over. Indeed, Lekki is a cosmetic development happening. Okay, right there. There's absolutely nothing in terms of public infrastructure for those who live in and around Lekki and Ajah. Now, I digress. I come back to what I call this financial recklessness by Lagos State government, financial impropriety, and corruption at its peak. In that, notwithstanding that Lagos State now has what you call its own anti-corruption agency, Lagos State government is the seat of corruption. And I dare anybody to come and say otherwise. Now, I'm going to cast some light to some of these things before we continue with the purported acquisition of Lekki Concession Company by the Lagos State government. If you look at Lagos State budget today, and these things should interest us as active citizens, you pay your taxes, you pay value-added tax on a number of services that you enjoy. It is part of that Lagos State receives from federal government as internally generated revenue, as IGR, okay, that is disbursed to the states. Your tax, the taxes that you pay either as an employee in Lagos State or as a business owner or on products and services that are dispensed in Lagos State is what is supposed to be used for the development of the state. Unfortunately, in the past 21 years, we have had successive governments that are nothing but corrupt, mismanage these funds, and are totally reckless with it. So much so that when you ask which one should come first, is it more taxes or a judicious use of taxes, you find out that they call it a chicken and egg approach. No. Lagos residents have lost trust in the government. This government is not transparent with the finances of Lagos State, and we need to point that out. That's why I'm doing this video today. Lagos State government would think that it will get away with purporting to buy the majority shareholding of Lekki Concession Company. It's not as plain as it looks like. It's not because Lekki Concession Company has a debt profile that Lagos State will have to pay back at low interest rate. That is the conversation they want us to be having, but that is a lie. It is that this special purpose vehicle that's been used for corruption is now being an added burden on Lagosians. And the next administration of Lagos State will investigate this. We are going to go after everybody, including the present governor, on this recklessness that is happening. So I tell you about the president. If you look at the budget of Lagos State government for the past 2 or 3 years, you'll find that the office of the chief of staff is a vendor in Lagos State government. Office of the chief of staff is under the governor's office. A chief of staff is supposed to regulate the activities of appointees and employees in the office of the governor. It's more like an HR agency doing the work of managing the staff in the governor's office, different from civil servants in the state. If you like, political appointees working in the governor's office, they come under the oversight functions of the chief of staff. It's not an absolutely necessary office to have, but it has become the conduit pipe where funds, legitimate funds of Lagos residents are being filtered away. If you can imagine, during the pandemic, the office of the chief of staff has received over 600 million naira on paper in our budget for matters relating to COVID. The office of the chief of staff is not occupied by a medical doctor. Yet the office of the chief of staff is disbursing funds for what they call special duties, matters relating to COVID, matters relating to enforcement of stay-at-home order. The office of the chief of staff is receiving disbursements. The office of the chief of staff is buying nose masks. The office of the chief of staff is buying palliatives and distributing palliatives. So much so that over 1 billion naira has been filtered through the office of the chief of staff. Now, Lagosians are not stupid. Lagos residents are not silly. Taxpayers of Lagos State, we are not mad. We are not insane. We do understand that these corrupt practices are continuing and we are going to chase them down. It is in that same Lagos State budget, I believe the one for 2020, there is an appropriation. There's an appropriation to the tune of over 1.3 billion for a FIFA Women's World Cup in the year 2020-2021. There was no FIFA Women's World Cup. Lagos State government is not the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports. Why Lagos State will allocate over 1.3 billion for FIFA Women's World Cup that did not happen? And those who are sitting, the over 40 members of the House of Assembly, approved that budget. These are the things that we need to examine. People will say, oh, Lagos is better off compared to other states of the Federation. No, Lagos is the best at corruption. Lagos is the best at window dressing. Lagos is the best at white elephant projects. And we are saying it is the reason why we have to end that evil dynasty in Lagos State. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is overseeing a corrupt government. He himself is corrupt. And I'm going to come back to the Lekki Concession Company problem. I'm going to talk to you about it. So Lekki Concession Company, we believe there have been talks that is owned by Tinubu and his cronies. That's not even a problem. Because you expect that eventually people will come seeking rent after they help the government to get into office. But why would you rob the people blind? I've already told you there is no semblance of any public infrastructure in Aja. Pick them, bring them out, whatever has been done, and check the figures that have gone into it. And examine whether even those projects benefit the people and the costs are justified. For Lekki Concession Company, this company set up by whoever, for whatever reason, got that project to expand the road. And they said they were doing it with their own funding. Lagos State gave so much concessions. I was in employment as a lawyer at the time, and so I saw the agreement. Gave so much concessions to Lekki Concession Company, including moratorium, and to say that they didn't have to pay taxes at the time. So you see how much concession Lekki Concession Company actually got. Instead of it getting concession, okay, for the government to get concession that a private entity is fixing public project. What is happening is that this supposed concession company is getting so much concessioning the hardship on Lagosians, concessioning shame, horror, and terror and oppression. So this is what the company did. Instead of fixing the roads all the way from Lekki to Epe, what they did was to expand a few lanes to the left, to the right. The concession mess allowed the Oriental Hotel to take benefit of that road, and then they started tolling. You know what happened? That's why NSAS was there. Because that's a seat of corruption. That's one of the major projects by which Lagos State government is robbing its citizens today. And they were collecting taxes away. This company said it will use its funds. You will read online. The stories are there. Lekki Concession Company got a loan of about $85 million from African Development Bank. $85 million to do this project. Till today, look at that project. Does it look like one that they've expended $85 million? Meanwhile, Lagos State government backed that loan facility. Now, follow the route. After that had been done, Fashola came and then awarded the supposed suspended Lekki Ikoyi Bridge to this same Lekki Concession Company. That was a contract. Now, that contract executed till today, they are still collecting tolls. The bridge has not done anything to alleviate the suffering of people on that road. The bridge has added to the traffic situation on that road. Now, after that was done, guess what? The concession company was unable to fulfill its obligations to the debtors after they got $85 billion. They were unable to pay back this debt. And guess what Lagos State did? After all it had done to enable this company to continue to rob Lagosians, Lagos State government decided to buy back the concession. I have never heard of that in my life. I've made videos about it before. I've made updates. And I've referred this matter that people should go and ask Molu Adegborua, SAN, who has also tackled the Lagos State government on this financial impropriety, this financial recklessness and corruption. So Lagos State successfully bought back the concession under Fashola that everybody thinks is a saint. He himself continues to oversee corruption in Lagos State, financial recklessness. And I charge them for let us go to court and discuss this matter. Lagos State government bought back that concession, meaning this company, you can go your way. You don't have to fulfill your obligations under this project. Instead of us to call a breach of contract and sue that company to court, Lagos State government bought back that concession, 7.5 billion naira. That was how much Lagos State paid. And the present House of Assembly under the present speaker approved that buyback. You don't want to know the billions Lagos State government paid to buy back that concession. Something that it's legally impossible. It is adding corruption and recklessness and putting them together on a false platform. Lagos State purportedly bought back that concession. Now, after they bought back the concession, the company went away without any liabilities to Lagos State government. Went away without paying any liability or any compensation or damages to the government. The government bore the liability. Guess what I just read? As of today, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, sent a request to the Lagos State House of Assembly asking to buy that company. After the company had been given a loan that it couldn't pay, after it had been used to collect tolls, unaccounted tolls from Lagosians, Lagos State government is now buying the company, buying 75% of the shares and giving 25% to the public-private sector, public-private partnership sector, the PPP office of Lagos State. Lagos State owns that company 100% as of today. It means owners of the company got the loan into their pocket, $35 million, got tolls into their pocket, got tax rebates from Lagos State, got all the financial incentives and gave the empty carcass back to Lagos State government, with Lagos State residents having to pay huge tolls, with Lagos State government residents having to pay taxes on a road they've not enjoyed, with our taxes going down the drain. How insensitive can a governor be? How insensitive can members of the House of Assembly, purportedly elected to represent the residents of Lagos State, be? How corrupt can they be? Babajide Sanwo-Olu is corrupt. All the 40 members of Lagos State House of Assembly are corrupt. Bola Oyesau, who represents a part of Ikoyi or Etiosa, at the House of Assembly, approved this thing. Approved that Lagos State government should take 100% ownership of LCC. And Lagos State is the one that has to pay back that $85 million with interest for the next 34 years. And that's why I'm doing this video today. It makes absolutely no sense that a company is supposed to come and offer services and then it incurs liability. The Lagos State government that's given it the impetus to do this now buys back that liability. There's nothing bigger in money laundering than this. There's nothing bigger corruption than this. And I'm stating it, I'm going to post it, you are going to find out. Go Google it. In fact, when I Googled it, I found that as far back as 2014, Lagos State government had bought over Lekki Concession Company. What they are purporting to do in June 2021. This tells you that Babajide Sanwo-Olu was put there by his godfather to clean the mess that will eventually unravel. All the major projects in Lagos State that people have stole through, we are going to investigate them. We are going to audit them. And Lagos State residents will find out, because this will not go down in history as the way things are done. No way. We can't distort history. Neither can we continue to say Lagos State is working. No, Lagos State is a fraud. The same thing for the Ojodubega Bridge. They awarded that contract over 3 times, totaling over 7 billion naira. They restructured and had supplementary budget in order to be able to accommodate that fraud. And then they say Lagos State is working. No, Lagos State is not working. Lagos State is a cesspit. Lagos State is a mess and is the hotbed of corruption. Lagos State is the hotbed of corruption in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. And so Lekki Concession Company is now owned by Lagos State government after failed projects, after mismanaging taxes in Lagos State. This is financial recklessness. This is corruption at its peak. And there is absolutely no vote of confidence in that governor servant that has been brought to serve one individual and mop up the corruption that has been going on for over 21 years. But we get to a stop in that we will continue to hold Lagos State government to account until Babajide Sanwo-Olu leaves office. And even after you leave office, you'll be accountable to Lagosians. Even after you leave office, you are going to give us explanations on the Ikeja terminal that you and Ambode built on the Oshodi platform, that you and Ambode that you have built and maintained on this Lekki Concession Company that has become a hotbed of corruption for the past 4 administrations in Lagos State government. Share this video and let them know Lagos residents are active citizens, and as much as we want to support the government to do well, we will not support corruption. Thank you.